A quick review as requested by some of you, and after a brief discussion this morning with Wes. Yes, last night I did quickly present um, upfield, what they do, and somehow a way to manage it. Remember that again, all of this is purely theoretical and based on us presuming, or me presuming, after viewing their last game, that this is what they're going to do. But as you know, football is full of surprises, and it will be up to you to manage it. This is just to prepare you. And if you were shocked last night, well, if you ever believe that you could play at a higher level, just rest assured that the level of detail which you saw last night, which is not even the greatest detail, is actually multiplied by quite a bit. So let's go through it again. Very, very simple. So nothing changes in reality to start with. So our field, we play the ball out. Our number 9 makes that run, the usual. Again, let's help for 1 second Mr. Mando here. Let's say it's Mando. Okay, let's call him Mando. Mando came to me last night and said, Rick, I'm lost. Okay, Mando, watch. So, Mando, nothing changes. You do what you have to do. You go on there. You go into your position and block their right fullback. That's all you need to do. Last week, we analyzed the game we played against Mill Park, and it was seen that Mando, in the game you played, you had a very bad habit of positioning yourself here or there, leaving us exposed to that player. So again, what you need to do is go and just take on this player. Prevent this player from taking off. That is what you have to do in this case. When the ball is played on this side of the park, the strong side of the park, when the ball is about to approach your half. Next. This is what changes. Their number 22, Portillo, whatever his name is, instead of being the typical winger that pushes up for the ball to be delivered somehow through combination play, no, they don't do that. Or in most cases, they won't do that. What we've got is him from this position dropping here into this pocket in what we call the half space, which presents a problem. This is something that oppositions don't do. And this is why we were discussing it last night. So when that happens, what do? Well, we need the closest central midfielder. This is why last night I had you at the start of that game training in a specific position, because I need you aligned. And in this case, when he drops, I need a central midfielder to come and stay with him. Let's say this could be JP. Okay, this is JP. Let's say this is Thomas. This is Thomas. Let's say this is Corey. This is Corey. I don't care who you are tomorrow, but this needs to happen because that number 22, that midfielder, is going to drop into this pocket. Someone need to pick him up. Not rocket science. Next. Okay. Automatically, two things happen. Our number 6, doesn't matter who that person is. It could be Corey. It could be Zubi. It could be Thomas. I don't care. Our 6 tomorrow needs to go in. If the ball is played on this side, very likely mark Mr. Beltram, Julio, your beloved friend Julio. At the same time, the other central midfielder here, so one central midfielder was here, the other one was here. Okay, so one is gone here because this player has come into this pocket. The 6 is taken care of. The 10, our 10, which is the other central midfielder, stops their 6. So you see now that the only problem we've got is this, right? So what do? There's no alternative. We need one of the central defender to step out and block him like that. Now, as I will tell you again, last night I also mentioned the following. What happens if this number 6 decides to drop even further? Well, that presents a problem. We can't have our 3 to chase him all the way because this is going to leave us exposed. Because first thing that's going to happen, he will drop into this pocket. And what will happen automatically is that, let's say, is John tomorrow, will need to fill in. And what automatically happens? Well, because they do that, either their winger pushes up, and worst of all, you might actually have Alejandro coming in as well. So there's might be 2 players here, plus this Rodriguez. So we'll have to be very, very mindful. If the 6 stays up because he needs to receive the ball across, good, we go and get him. Let's say this is Biscuit. Biscuit, you go. But if he's done and setting a trap so that you then leave space behind you, don't stay, right? So basically anything that is past the semicircle, don't follow him too much. Go back. So what do? Well, if the 6 drops here, the angle for reception is going to be very narrow. So I don't think he's going to get the ball because that's actually going to expose them to a pass that can be easily intercepted by our players. And that becomes then an issue, or that becomes a task for Dennis. So Dennis, let's say that if he comes in a little bit too much, exposing our back four, we don't do that. You stay, Biscuit, and Dennis picks up our 6 here in this pocket here. I can't make it any clearer than that. Okay. Now, last night that was not discussed, I must admit, but I think that the 6 will stay up because they are also trying to go forward. So that's one solution, boys. One simple solution. I don't know how else to explain it. Last thing is, of course, Dennis, remember that if they switch, and they will, this is an area for you to go and collect the ball. They do have a very bad habit of squaring the ball across a lot, this team, because they do trust their own technique. So my suggestion is you be mindful of that. But boys, at the end of the whole story, we can go on and on and on about all of these. It's all about you moving your ass and running around. Okay, so tomorrow you're playing top of the table. Yes, please be concerned because it is going to be a very difficult game. Next, let's see what happens when, just to be fair, the ball goes out the other way. Just very quickly, just in case. Right, some of you might not get it straight away. Okay, let's say the ball goes to the other side, what is meant to be our right hand side. Nothing changes. Exactly the same principle, but mirror image. So ball goes out there. Fine. Our number 9. And remember, the 9 cannot be always the 9. It can be different players, right? it is sick. It is impossible to ask, let's say, Danny to do that the whole game. So whether tomorrow is going to be Thomas, whether it's going to be JP, do take take turns in picking up. The 9 makes that curved run like that. So he goes and does that. Nothing changes. In this case, let's say Dennis needs to go and block Alejandro tomorrow, like that. Bang. So that's done. That's taken care of. Then we got the problem. What changes? Sorry, he's meant to be here. They're going to drop the left external player, the left midfielder, let's say. What do we do? Well, as we did before on the right hand side, in this case, the closest central midfielder needs to pick him up. Bang. Like that. Right? There are no changes. Then the 10 needs, and the 6 is meant to be here. The 10, our 10, picks up their 6, just like before. And then there's the issue. He is free, not Julio, the other player. So our 6, in this case, picks up the 6. The same problem as before. So rule number 1, one of the central defenders steps out. Obviously, we need to adjust our back 4 accordingly. I can't move all players at once, but we can do these if problem. In this case, if Julio drops too much, we cannot expose our back 4 or back line too much, leaving all of this space, which again will end up creating the problem with them, us having to make up and leaving us potentially open to 1 and possibly 2 players, especially down the right hand side. They do this very, very often. So we need to ensure that if that happens, in this case, Daniel Mando, watch, you need to go and cover. Now, which will allow our back 4 to be intact and ready. Having said that, and the ball might come, they will do this. So Grima, here, be ready tomorrow. Mando, again, remember, because this time the strong side of the pack is here, it is different. Okay, this time what you were doing on the left hand side, Dennis is doing here. And what Dennis was doing before here, you're now doing on your side. So now you're not marking this player. You're not going out wide. You're not picking up this player. No. If you see that Julio, first of all, you're meant to be in this position. If you see that Julio is free, you need to go and pick him up. Or if you see that Julio drops a lot, you have to go and pick him up. I can't make it any clearer than that. I don't think it's rocket science. I'm sorry, it takes a while to explain things. I also try to go through things quickly because we have so many things to do. I apologize, but if you really want to help yourself, make sure that all your teammates watch this. Tomorrow, any questions? I'm available on the chat. Have a great Friday night. Goodbye.